All right, so let's get right into it. If you've been following the world of directed acyclic graphs, DAGs, then you know Kaspa is pretty much the king of the hill right now when it comes to block latency. But there's a new challenger on the scene, BlockDAG, and they've just kicked down the door claiming, get this, 10 times the throughput. Yeah, you heard that right, 10 times. So today, forget the price charts. We're going to get technical. We're drawing out the graphs, we're comparing the guts of their consensus models, and we are absolutely going to find out if this wild claim is for real.
And that really sets up the big question for this whole explainer, doesn't it? Is this thing a legitimate miracle of engineering, or are we just looking at some really clever marketing math? Well, that's what we're here to figure out.
So yeah, the whole debate, the whole war, if you will, it all kicks off with this one single, incredibly bold claim.
10 blocks per second. That's the number BlockDAG is throwing down. Now, just to put that into perspective, Kaspa, the current champ, is humming along at 1 block per second. So we're not just talking about a little bump in performance. This is a 10-fold jump. And look, when someone makes a claim that big, you've got to take a closer look.
All right, so to even begin to understand if that number is legit, we have to pop the hood and see what these engines are really made of. Let's compare the blueprints, the very core structures of these two projects. Okay, so in one corner, you've got Kaspa with its pure, battle-tested GHOSTDAG protocol. It's all about securely ordering blocks that are popping up in parallel. In the other corner, you have BlockDAG with its so-called hybrid proof-of-work model. Now, they might both be called DAGs, but trust me, the way they get everyone to agree on the state of the network, well, it's like they're speaking two completely different languages. So Kaspa's whole philosophy is, you could say, elegant and focused. It's just pure GHOSTDAG, 1 block every second, and everything is fine-tuned for rock-solid security at that speed. The magic word for Kaspa is finality. Its algorithm makes sure blocks are locked in and confirmed super fast. We're talking seconds, which gives you this incredibly stable and secure network.
And then there's BlockDAG, the new kid on the block, shouting about 10 blocks per second. And if you were to actually map out their DAG visually, it would just look chaotic, super dense, almost like a tangled web compared to Kaspa's clean structure. And that visual mess, that's a direct symptom of their hybrid model, because it's using some other mechanism on the side to try and wrangle all that chaos.
But this is where things get really interesting. Because in the world of crypto and decentralized networks, pure raw speed, well, it can be a trap, a very dangerous one.
Look, here's the deal. It's one thing to crank out blocks like a machine gun. That's the easy part. The hard part is getting a global decentralized network to agree on the order and validity of those blocks. If you can't do that, all that speed is worthless. It's like building a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. If the network is constantly reorging and can't find its footing, the whole thing comes crashing down.
And this is the absolute core trade-off we're talking about. Kaspa, sure, it has a known weakness, latency. It just takes a moment for a transaction to get seen by everyone around the world. But the risk with BlockDAG? Oh, it's way worse. It's the risk of total consensus failure. I mean, we've all seen this story before, right? Projects come out with these insane speed claims, and then they just crumble under real-world pressure. Trying to shove 10 blocks per second through any system, let alone a hybrid one, is just asking for conflicts and chain forks, unless your secret sauce is like perfect, absolutely flawless.
Which of course leads us to the million-dollar question. How on earth does BlockDAG claim to have solved this massive problem? Well, the secret, it's hidden in the details of that hybrid model they talk about.
So what is it? What's the secret ingredient that lets them hit 10 BPS without the entire network just imploding?
Okay, so the term they use is hybrid POW, and that little word hybrid is doing a lot of heavy lifting. See, a hybrid model usually means there's a second piece of the puzzle, another mechanism working behind the scenes to manage all the chaos. And in this case, it heavily implies there's some kind of coordinator helping to sort and order the absolute flood of blocks coming in every single second.
And bingo, there it is. That coordinator, that secondary mechanism, 9 times out of 10, that's just a fancy way of saying a layer of centralization. The moment you have a single authority organizing the blocks, you're not really looking at a decentralized DAG anymore. You're looking at a very complicated, very fast database.
So you see how the whole debate just shifted? The question isn't, can they do 10 blocks per second anymore? The answer to that is probably yeah, they can.
The real question, the one that matters is it still decentralized at that speed? Kaspa chooses to sacrifice some speed for what you might call node democracy. BlockDAG is making a huge bet that their speed is worth whatever trade-offs they had to make.
Okay, so why should you care about all this techie, abstract stuff? Well, because it has very real, tangible consequences, especially if you're thinking about mining any of this.
Right. Why does this matter for your wallet, for passive income? 2 words: mining. The health, the stability, the very decentralization of a network, it all directly hits the profitability and the risk you take on as a miner. And this chart lays it all out, plain and simple. Mining Kaspa, it's mature, it's a stable, predictable, if maybe not spectacular profit engine. It's the safe bet. BlockDAG, that's the casino, the high-risk, high-reward gamble. I mean, look, if their 10 BPS model actually works and stays decentralized, the first miners in could make an absolute killing. But if that consensus model cracks under pressure, well, congratulations, your multi-$1,000 mining rig is now just a very expensive, very loud space heater.
So, after digging through the tech, weighing the risks and the potential rewards, where does that leave us? It really boils down to a classic showdown: pure, unadulterated ambition versus cold, hard proof. And here's the final scorecard. Kaspa takes the win on academic rigor, and, way more importantly, on actual live battle-tested performance in the wild. BlockDAG, right now, it's only winning in one category: ambition.
And at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to, right? Ambition is great, but ambition doesn't settle blocks. Code does. Consensus does.
So, what's the verdict? Look, I'm not here to call BlockDAG vaporware, but I am saying this. Until they can prove, and I mean really prove, that their super fast model can take a punch in a real-world, hostile attack, Kaspa is still the undisputed king of the DAG jungle. Period.
And that leaves us with a final question, one you should ask yourself not just about these 2 projects, but about any project in crypto. When it comes time to place your bets, what's the smarter play? The technology that's built on proven, battle-hardened security, or the project that's built on really, really ambitious math?